Hey guys, Shannon here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that comes up a lot when it comes to my nutrition clients, and that is the scale and changes in the scale. So number one, a lot of people think that the scale is the be-all end-all when it comes to progress. And so long story short, that's not true. There's lots of other ways that we can measure progress other than the scale. So before we get to that, I just want to kind of give you a story and tell me if you potentially can relate to this. I had a check-in call with one of my clients. This is probably about a week ago. And she proceeded to tell me about how good she was feeling in the gym, how much better her mood was, how much better she was sleeping. And then after that, proceeded to tell me that she was a little bit frustrated because the scale wasn't moving. And don't get me wrong, I totally get it when you think that you're doing all the right things, but you're not seeing that outcome that you think you should see. And so number one is, no matter what the outcome is, treating your body well, filling it with nourishing foods, exercising and moving your body on a regular basis, all of those things are the right thing to do regardless of what happens on the scale. Regardless if you lose weight or not, all of those things are the right thing to do. So don't let the scale dictate if you buy a one-way ticket to Fucketville, right? Because how many of us think that we're doing all the right things, we step on the scale, before we got on the scale, we thought, I'm killing it. I'm definitely going to see some changes on the scale. And it doesn't happen. And then it makes you feel like all of that work is for nothing. And that's not really true, because the right thing to do is always going to be the right thing to do, regardless of the outcome. If you're a female, you probably already know that the scale is a fickle mistress. And you're going to see probably more weight fluctuations than some of your male counterparts. And partly just because we get a cycle every month, so our hormones change, which is going to cause some weight fluctuations. And that's perfectly normal, perfectly fine. It doesn't mean that you've actually gained, 1 to 5 pounds of body fat. So some of the reasons why you might fluctuate is maybe you ate more carbs one day. Every gram of carb is going to pull in 3 grams of water. It's not bad, doesn't mean carbohydrates are bad, but that just means that you might pull more water in. And so that might cause a bit of a change. Does that mean that you're actually gained fat? No. Another reason why is maybe you haven't gone poop. If your pooping schedule's off, it's going to affect your weight. Another reason why is maybe you're stressed. If you go through a period of high stress, it's going to affect your hormone profile, which is also going to affect water retention, things like that. So stress might cause a change on the scale. 2 other factors that might cause changes is salt and fiber intake. And again, salt, I imagine you can probably figure it out because you're going to pull more water. And that's just normal part of what happens with having a bit more salt. So let's say that you typically don't eat out, you ate out somewhere else, it was a salty meal, maybe you're going to feel a little bit the next day, but that's okay. That's normal. If you're ready to stop letting the scale decide how you're going to feel about your progress, I have 3 tips for you. The first tip is, and I shared this with my client who was feeling really great, but wasn't really seeing the changes in the scale, which was really upsetting for her, is I said, before you step on the scale, I want you to see how you feel. How do you feel? Do you feel like you have been really consistent with the targets that we've set and the action steps that we've decided on? How do you feel in your clothes and your skin lately? Decide how you feel before you get on the scale. Don't let the scale decide how you're going to feel about your progress. My second tip is think about other things that you can use as metrics to help see if you're making progress. How is your mood? What is your energy like? What's your performance like in the gym? How are you sleeping? All of those things are metrics that I get my clients to measure for me. The other things that I have them do or that I ask them about is how are you feeling in your skin? What are your clothes fitting like? And then another thing that you can do is pictures. Here's the thing. No one likes pictures. Everybody, when I first ask my clients to do it, they really dislike it. And I get it. But the thing is pictures are way better than stepping on the scale when it comes to being able to see progress and changes in body composition. My third tip is rather than using any of those things in conjunction with the scale is just use those things. Completely get rid of the scale. Put it in the closet, throw it out, whatever you feel like you want to do with it. But the scale is not necessarily the best way to determine the progress that you're making, especially if it makes you want to buy a one-way ticket to Fucketville, right? So at the end of the day, the right thing to do is always going to be the right thing to do, regardless of the outcome. But if you still want to measure if you're getting closer to those goals, I suggest using some of those other things like how your clothes are fitting you, what pictures are telling us, your biofeedback, instead of just using the scale. And if you are going to keep using the scale, again, I recommend before you get on the scale, you decide how you feel. You don't let the scale tell you how you're going to feel. Thanks for joining me. If you like these videos, feel free to put a comment below, like, subscribe so that you get notified next time I post. Oh shit, I forgot to do that. So I hope those 3 things, that is not 3, that is 2.